In the spirit of the 4th of July, we've got an incredible story about some hometown troops who defied the odds. Mike Max has more in our home team story tonight.
They were teammates, classmates, and friends. 75 years ago, 7 graduates of St. Paul Monroe High School added Marines to their titles, all enlisting in the Korean War. They would come to be known as St. Paul's Lucky 7. 75 years ago, the Korean War became a part of the United States, and among those leaving Minnesota to enlist, 7 friends and classmates, all from then St. Paul Monroe High School.
And they're all buddies from Monroe High School, and they all joined the Marines together and all shipped off to Korea together.
It was not without angst. The mothers of the 7 sons protested publicly that they were not trained for combat.
For their sons that were going over to war, they wanted them to have more training. They didn't like that they didn't train them as much.
Paul Hinderscheid's father, Jack, was one of the 7, well before he was born, but he's documented the tenure. The 7 deployed to different areas, and his father was hurt on a mission. There was no email or cell phones, of course, and the only information the family garnered was a telegram that added few details.
And one of our own soldiers dislodged a big boulder, and it hit my dad and almost killed him. And he woke up in the infirmary, and he was messed up for many years.
He recovered. The memories of combat living only in his mind.
You're a Marine sergeant and corporal, and you're not supposed to show your emotions or, say, hey, I saw, and I'm sure that they had to hold a lot of that inside.
But what became amazing was that all 7 returned home, defying the odds of the war and earning a St. Paul nickname.
They got deemed St. Paul's Lucky 7.
The Lucky 7 stayed in the St. Paul area, and it was not always happily ever after. Jack married, and they had 7 children. Then his wife left him to raise their 7 children.
My dad struggled because my mother gave us up when I was 10 and gave them all to my dad. My dad did the best he could to raise us.
The family stuck together, rebounded through the tough times, and Jack became a grandfather to a military-bound grandson. The Lucky 7 is no longer with us.
They're all in heaven now. The Lucky 7 are all in heaven now, but they all came home and lived pretty good lives.
But the memories and what Jack meant is alive, certainly to his next generation.
Yeah.
What would you like to tell your dad if he was here today?
That I love him, that I appreciate all he did.
Jack passed away in 2019. He remarried and was a devoted husband, father, grandfather, and yes, a true Minnesotan. He loved the Minnesota Vikings.